What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is a retro review, you guys. This is Different World Season 3, Episode 23. It's one of my favorite episodes. It is The Getaway. We got The Getaway Part 1, and we got The Getaway Part 2. So, if I have time, I might get y'all Part 2 before I get out of here for my vacation. But, this spring break, and the crew has rented a house, a beach house, down in South Carolina for the week. Listen, you guys, this was the first, the whole Airbnb girls weekend, guys weekend. Spring break would come around and you would figure out some things to do. Sometimes it would be extravagant. Sometimes it would be a little low key, depending on what your pocket said it could do. But we've got Dwayne, Ernest, Ron, we've got Freddie, and we have Kim originally. Now, Whitley is supposed to be hanging out at Hilton Head with Julian and his family's home. But Julian comes to it the last minute and says, listen, I just got called back for a second interview at the something down in DC, and I'm going to have to postpone our trip. And Willie was like, you can't postpone spring break, sir. Like, it's set. And he was like, I'm sorry, are you upset with me? And she was like, no, I'm not upset, but I mean, of course she was. And who wouldn't be? Like, I would be upset. You had plans and they got canceled. Like, I'd be upset, The ladies are upstairs having this conversation. Freddie is talking about being with Ernest for the week and all the things we could do. Kim is talking about she's going to be looking for herself a nice little, local dude. But if not, Ron will do. And of course, Freddie tries to play coy, like she ain't even, thinking about Ernest like that. So Kim makes a comment about Ernest being cute. And she basically was like, you gonna pull back a nub? Back up off my man? And Kim even makes a little comment about, well, I mean, if nothing else pops off, I guess I can mess with Ron for the week. And then they were like, yeah, nah. Which, of course, is very funny and I won't say it's important foreshadowing because I don't know if they thought that far out, but very interesting with the whole. And when you think about it now, Ron and Kim sort of had that unwritten flirtation thing going. Like, this is like the second or third time that Ron kind of was like, I mean, Kim is cute. Well, Ron, maybe if I'm desperate. You know what I'm saying? So they always kind of had that little ting-ting there. So it's time to pack up the van. Of course, when Dwayne finds out that Whitley is going, he is so happy, and he is just like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Your trip was canceled. Very so sorry, but you're not really sorry, right? So they get the car together and they head on down to Hilton Head. Now, if you've ever been, South Carolina. Now, if you've ever been down to the outskirts, the Outer Banks, or whatever down in that area, a lot of times you do have to get on these ferries, right? Then you drive your car onto the ferry and it takes you over to the island, and you're kind of stranded on the island. You're kind of relying on the ferry to get you back and forth to the mainland. So they get down there and they're unloading the truck, and it's this mysterious bag. Nobody seems to know who the bag belongs to, but everybody assumes it belongs to the next person. Well, you got a trip with 6 people. You got a lot of bags. It just kind of happens. And so they keep kicking this bag around, Ron goes down to the beach. He comes back empty-handed, so he goes to plan B, which of course is to flirt with Kim. Whitley is over in the corner feeling sorry for herself because she is stuck not with Julian for the week. Ernest is drinking like it is the last chance he's ever going to have a drink. But him and Freddie, they cuddled up. You know what I'm saying? It's clear that they both kind of have the same idea, whatever. And they get to playing this old music, which I thought was beautiful that they were playing the Supremes, and they're dancing and they're singing, and they all know the lyrics because, of course, people always act like, oh, y'all don't know nothing about this old music. Y'all don't know nothing about this old music. But we really do. Like, y'all raised us on it. You know what I'm saying? And so they have a moment where they're all dancing and singing to You Can't Hurry Love. And, Whitley is kind of coming out of her shell a little bit. And Dwayne is sort of egging her out of her shell a little bit. And, they're having a good time. Now, while they got all of this going on, it's 2 guys that are in the van outside or in the truck outside. They're looking for this bag. This mysterious bag that nobody seems to know who it belongs to. Now, ain't nobody opened up the bag yet. They just keep kind of tripping over the bag. Well, you quickly find out that what's in the bag is something very nefarious, and that these two men that are looking for it could really do some damage if they don't find what they're looking for, right? And they said, well, no, we're going to play this cool. We ain't going to bust up in there and run up on them. We're going to figure out how to play this kind of cool. Because at the end of the day, we got their name. And the name of the paperwork for the rental truck is Dwayne. So, Dwayne Cleophas Wayne, right? So, later on that night, Ernest gets so drunk that he's throwing up. And, of course, he's miserable the next day because when you drink that much, it just, it's not a good feeling when you wake up the next morning. It's just not a good feeling. And, Kim goes down to the beach, and Dwayne and Ron finally get sick of kicking his bag around. And, rewind. Dwayne tries to have a moment with Whitley, and he gets interrupted by Freddie. But he tries to have a little moment with her, and she's talking about how I don't need Julian. All I need to do is be with my friends, and as long as I'm with my friends, I'm okay. And I feel like the rest of that conversation wasn't going to go the way Dwayne wanted it to go, because I feel like the rest of her conversation was going to be friends like you, Dwayne, not friends, potential other things, because I think that's what in his mind he was hoping or thinking or praying. Anyway, so they finally decide to go through this bag. They open the bag up, and Ron says, well, this bag must belong to Whitley because look at all this money. But it's not like, it's like stacks of money. It's bands on top of bands on top of bands. Then underneath the money is some little white powder. So, of course, Dwayne immediately is like, oh, hell no. Like, we got to get rid of this. This don't belong to us. We need to take this to the authorities. We don't know where it came from. It must have been some sort of mix-up on the ferry. We got to get rid of this. They can't find the car keys because Freddie done hid the car keys from Ernest because the night before when he was drunk, he wanted to go for a ride. So she hid the car keys, and of course, they don't know where the car keys are. They can't find Freddie and all that. So why they said, forget it, we just gonna walk to the ferry. We will get, we're gonna walk to the ferry. We're not waiting until we figure this out. Now, while they doing this, while they all trying to take the bag back to the mainland, the ladies then ran up on these two fine guys over on the beach. The same guys from the night before, okay? And they're flirting. One is flirting with Freddie. One is flirting with Kim. And, and they were like, and Freddie said something to the effect about, they were asking were y'all here by yourself? And they were like, no, we're here with some of our friends from school, whatever. And they were like, well, where are they now? And she was like, I don't know. I think they were trying to take some bag, that didn't belong to us, over to the authorities, to the lost and found. And they were like, oh, well, we could take it for them. Where's the bag at? We'll take it. Now, had the bag still been sitting there, all of this would have been done with, right? But, of course, it can't be that easy. Dwayne and Ron are gone, and when they come and, they talk the guys into staying for lunch, which, of course, one of the guys just wants to run up in there, do whatever he need to do and get his damn bag. The other one is like, no, we need to play this cool. So, they're upstairs, looking, they said they needed to go upstairs and freshen up for lunch, but they were really just searching the house looking for this bag. Well, Dwayne and Ron end up coming back. They done ran into the woman whose father actually owns the house that they're renting, and they end up Dwayne ends up going upstairs because they were frustrated because they were like, see, I knew, they missed the ferry, they fussed with each other about whose fault it was that they missed the ferry. So Dwayne goes upstairs and he sees the guys. They don't see him, but he sees them, and he hears them talking. He knows that they're looking for the bag, and he says, well, that's all right, because if we don't find our bag, we know who to get. Dwayne Cleophas Wayne. And of course, Dwayne ends up running out of there and goes back downstairs and says, listen, them dudes upstairs, they looking for this bag. Like, they looking for me. And that's sort of where this episode ends. The Dwayne and Ron realize that they are in trouble. Okay? So that is how the episode was. So part 2, of course, is the conclusion. And we'll get to that. And like I said, I'll try to get you guys part 2 before I leave. But if not, we'll get to it next week when I get back. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.